Alright you guys, what is going on, and welcome back to the channel. So today we're going to talk about something that's kind of important to me and something that you guys have brought up in the past. Now this wasn't even my video of the day or the video I was supposed to be shooting today. I was supposed to be doing rewrapping the door cards, like new suede, new spray stuff. And I got through one of the door cards and yeah, I kind of got to the point where I was like, I don't want to do any more of them. This sucks. And no, not happening. And I locked myself in the car. I actually locked myself in the car. Have you ever done that? You ever lock yourself in the car while the keys are out of the car and you can't get out of the car? Happened to me. Not fun. Don't suggest. But let's talk about motivation. So over the past couple, I'd say 2 months or so, since working on this 05 STI and getting it back up and running with all the problems that we've been running to, a lot of comments and a lot of messages I've seen have said, hey, if I were you, I would have just lost motivation. I would have stopped working on the car. I would have sold it at that point, just because there's so many problems and it's just continual problem after problem after problem, which I don't blame some of you guys for having that mindset. It sucks, and when you start encountering a lot of those problems, it can add up on top of each other and it creates just a mountain of just crap that you have to sift through and you have to work through. Now, to answer some of your guys' questions directly about motivation, how do I stay motivated, or how do I continue to push through working on something like this that just gives you problem after problem after problem? And the way that I look at it is you tackle it one small thing at a time. You don't look at the mountain of crap and try to be like, all right, I need to tackle all of this by myself. And you don't even have to do it all by yourself. If you guys have friends or family or siblings or anyone else that likes to work on cars or wants to learn to work on cars, utilize them, teach them. If you don't know what you're doing, learn together. But tackling it in the smaller aspects of things, of just one issue at a time, will help break apart a lot of the stress and a lot of the demotivation that you guys might face when working on a build similar to this one, or anything in life. This can be applied to anything in life. It doesn't even have to be about cars, but this is just how I look at it. Now, after you've kind of sifted through all the problems and you're starting to tackle one at a time, you're going to run into smaller micro problems. It's like a problem within a problem, and then you're going to get to a point where you just want to quit. You guys have seen me get to this point, and I fully recorded and shared that with you guys also. Remember this? I hate it. I hate it all so much. I hate it. I just want it to be done with. I just want it to be done with. I hate it. I hate it with a passion. I don't want to do this anymore. I don't want to do it anymore. I just want it to work. And it doesn't. It doesn't work. Why? I need a break. I need to stop. Now, just because you get to the point of wanting to quit and wanting to throw in the towel doesn't mean that you have to or you should. Just because you get to a point where you feel overwhelmed, where you just don't know what to do, you don't know how to fix it, or you don't know how to tackle it, take a break. Step back. Step away from whatever it is you're working on for an hour or a day or however long you need to, and then jump back on it. I promise there's always going to be a solution, especially whenever it comes to working on cars. You might face something that just completely breaks, it decimates, you snap bolts, you cross thread bolts, you've sent something way too hard with an impact in a spot that you probably shouldn't have. Trust me, I know from experience, but it's all fixable. That's something that I do want to reiterate to you guys, because this gets brought up all the time by you guys who say, I don't know how to do some of these things that you guys are doing on a car. I don't know what I'm doing half the time. I don't know what I was doing half the time. I don't know what I was doing at all. A couple of years ago, if you look at it, I had no idea how to pull a motor, tear it apart, fix issues like this. But taking the initiative to learn and taking the time to dive into some of these issues, you'll start to benefit and you'll start to gain a lot more experience. And then all of those micro issues that you guys are going to face in future projects or future cars that you're going to be working on will seem like nothing. They'll seem like minuscule problems. They'll seem like an inconvenience at that point, instead of demotivators or things that just make you want to stop working on builds. Now, if you want to look at it more in the grand scheme of things, instead of looking at the problematic side of building cars, let's talk about just cars in general, because I have seen people in the past, and people have brought it up, where they say, hey, they just lost motivation working on the car. They lost motivation to go drive the car and actually enjoy it for what it is, and that's totally fine too. Sometimes we just get bored of our builds. It's happened to me. That's one of the reasons why I sold the BRZ. It's one of the reasons why I've sold 20 other cars that I have had in the past. You get bored of them after a while, and not looking at it as a complete demotivation of I'm just bored of cars. step back, go drive a different car also if that's something that you're considering. Is just go try something different, go try something new, see if that resparks or rekindles your interest. And if it is just a time in your life where you're just demotivated, you don't want to work on cars anymore, you just want to hop in your Camry or your Corolla, drive to work, drive to the grocery store, drive wherever you're driving, there's nothing wrong with that either. But the whole motivation aspect of things will keep you going, especially if you're someone like me that doesn't like to sit around, doesn't like to waste time, and always wants to be getting something done. Motivation will come naturally to you, but for those of you that it doesn't, there's nothing wrong with asking for help when it comes to getting motivated a little bit. I also have friends that could relate to some of you guys that just, they're never motivated to work on their own cars. They want either other people to do it, they don't mind paying a shop, and that is another one of the things that helps motivate me. Is I don't have excess of thousands of dollars to pay total shop fees for work on my cars. If you were to break it down on how much money I would have spent on labor costs between the 2017 STI, the BRZ, and this 05 STI, we'd probably be talking near like the $30,000 to $40,000 range. So the monetary aspect of things, of being able to save money and do everything myself, or if I don't know how to do it myself, it's just a huge benefactor for me to be able to go out and say, hey, I want to learn how to do this, not necessarily for the fact that I want to know how to do it, but for the fact that I want to save money. And that's another way you'll get experience and knowledge of just knocking these things out yourselves. There's so many DIY videos online, between what I've made, between what other content creators have made, and just people across the board in general, of how to do a lot of these minuscule things. Now, some of them may not be the best install videos, and you may be having to dig up some information on how to do something yourself, but it's never a bad thing to have to do a little bit of research. For example, like today, when I was going through and I was rewrapping these door cards, I have absolutely no idea how to do upholstery work. I didn't watch any videos, read any forms like I should have before doing it. I started to get demotivated halfway through it, but I can't leave like a half-wrapped door card back in the car with just exposed orange foam everywhere. That's just not going to look good. No one's going to want to look at that. So getting the knowledge, or at least an idea of what you're getting yourself into before doing installs, is always a good thing to do. And like last week's another example, when I was doing that power steering bay kit, remember this? This is just not going to be an enjoyable install to do. Chase Bays has no install instructions, but I mean, it's a pretty straightforward install. This just became something that I don't really want to do anymore, but we're gonna do it anyways because I already have the kit here, I already paid for it, and those lines are already off, so I kind of committed at this point, and this looks a lot better. So the lengths that we go through for car stuff, I was like, I just don't want to do this. I started doing the install, and then I was like, oh crap, I have to crawl under the car, drop the power steering rack, connect these lines up to the rack, which then ended up turning into a strip to bolt on the power steering rack. It's just, the problems, they can pile up on top of each other, but don't let the giant pile of crap problems drag you down and demotivate you. There's always a way around it. Remember, anything that is mechanical is always fixable. There is never going to be anything you face when working on a car, if you break it, that will completely derail you and stop you on a project. May it cost you extra money? Maybe. It'll maybe also cost you some extra time too, but that goes back into the bank of putting that knowledge and experience back in your belt. Now, these are just some of the things how I look at motivation and how I stay motivated to keep going on these builds. I also, there's an end goal that we all have in mind. We all start these projects for a reason. It's something that we set out to do. Now, that journey of getting to the end goal may not always be fun, but keep in mind, that's one of the things that helps motivate me when I'm working on my cars or when I get stuck on a problem, is think about the end goal. Maybe not today, maybe not tomorrow, but in a week, for example, I'll actually be able to drive this car and go enjoy it again. And I know when I'm actually driving it, I will be more than enthralled or enthused, whatever word you want to use, to be driving the car. And all of that work that you put into your builds will pay off in the end. If it doesn't, I don't know what to tell you there. Maybe other people have a solution for that. I don't. But staying on track with the motivation stuff, I just wanted to touch on this because I've seen so many comments on it the past couple of months. I've had so many DMs about it. I've had people ask me in the past that I just wanted to make a dedicated video on it. As for that, I'm still waiting on buckets to come in for that engine. So, I mean, there's not a whole lot of work I can get done on that car right now anyways. So this was a perfect opportunity to be able to make this video. So that's all I got for you guys on this one. If you guys have any tips on staying motivated or staying on track with your builds, please feel free to throw them down in the comments so that way other people can go down there, read, get some other ideas of what everyone else does. This is just how I focus on it. Just remember, smaller problems, take apart the large pile of crap and start dissecting it into smaller projects that you're gonna have to do. Don't feel overwhelmed. If you need to step back and take a break for a while, do so. There's nothing wrong with that. So, that's all I got for you guys on this one. I hope this helped. I hope this helped motivate you or help get some motivation to you to help get your project back on track. So, if you guys liked the video, if it helped you, or if you have any other ideas to help any other people, go ahead and hit that like button. Turn it whatever color it turns for you. Black, blue, green, purple, red, cyan, yellow, chartreuse. I don't know what color it turns for you because apparently it turns a different color for everyone. And if you're not already subscribed to the channel, feel free to hit your boy up. Feel free to hit me up with any questions that you might have as well. Just make sure it's down below in the comments because if you shoot it over to Instagram, there's a high chance I will probably miss it, and I do apologize for that. But with that, I will catch you guys in the next one, which hopefully should be getting that long block put back together and back in this car. So I will catch you guys in the next one. Peace out, homies.